Hi, my name's Jamie and I'm a filmmaker on a quest to watch more movies. A lot more movies. All the movies. So every week I go down to my favorite video store and I rent and watch about 5 movies I've never seen before. Then I reflect. Then I do an analytical review in the time it takes to play the trailer, or whatever I can get, and give each a totally objective star rating, and then select a pick of the week. I'm doing 100 of these, 500 movies. I hope to make it that you want to stick around. This week on the Rental Report Review. Some stay for a night, some stay for a week, some never leave. Barbarian, 2022. Whatever you do, don't go into the attic. The Changeling, 1980. To find her son, she did what no one else dared. Changeling, 2008. Super cute and super fun. Cutie Honey, 2004. One man, 3 women, one night. The Night of the Iguana, 1964. Am I getting joked? Are we getting joked? This is a little bit of a backdoor review of Weapons that I just saw, what was it, a week or so ago? I did not like Weapons. I had some fun, but I did not like it. I think its non-linear structure really gutted any sense of narrative tension, paper-mached over logic holes. End of that review. I came here to catch up and see what all the fuss was about, to see if I had the wrong take. I had the right take. This is weak. Not a bad premise, with some fun turns and lulls, but mostly wincing cringes, yawns, and hair pulling of my already contentious hairline.
It's dry and there's a lock on the door. By the way, I'm Keith.
Tess.
Characters. I hate the characters, and I suspect I'm mostly supposed to. Tess is not only a bad traveler, she's a horrible, suspicious, ungrateful guest who traveled across the country for an interview to be a researcher for a documentary about the scene, and one of the crucial members is also in her Airbnb, and you fail to mention it? Because what? That would unravel the delicate plot? I'm sorry, I spent some time in that world. That would have been a phone call for a barely above minimum job. But yeah, just about every culture on the planet would recognize, as far as hospitality goes, Tess didn't nearly get what she deserved. I give Barbarian 2022 1.5 stars. Yet again, but for the previous time, the fragmented chaptered structure allows the film to skirt true narrative conflict, real obstacles, and transformation. It's trying to have its cake and eat it too, but the cake is actually just frosting, and I'm a frosting guy. I'm legitimately starting to worry that we're collectively losing contact with actual narrative and pathos. The 90s excuse for faux postmodern pastiche has Hollywood convinced itself it needs only moments chained together to make a film. And those moments better be references to other films, because, you know, that's where the weight and meaning come from. Right?
This is perfectly natural.
Do I hate that this exists? No. But don't piss on me and tell me it's raining, and to enjoy it, because we're in an epic drought. George C. Scott is absolutely serving the most fetching cunt here.
Within this old house live 2 residents. One of them is John Russell, composer, professor. The other has been dead for over 70 years.
I mean, always. But here in 1980, still piping hot. With the most scandalous brows this side of the color era, I love Scott. I think I've always loved Scott. I can't remember if I saw Strangelove or Patton first, but it doesn't matter. I've never seen him be bad in a movie. Even when there's a glaze of, what the fuck am I doing in this? He always brings a grounded formalism that feels like every grandpa and uncle I've ever known. A necessary performative air of someone driven or chosen to lead. All that to say, this is totally forgettable without Scott.
It's a hand.
And it's a critical watch with him and his curvaceous forebrow histrionics that here are selling me ice in Greenland. The Changeling is a sober haunted house seance poltergeist stolen land movie for the post-exorcist pre-slasher gore porn world, trying to make a play for some real horror as trauma processing, but still delving into some chills type of elevated cinema. It's too bad The Shining came out just 3 months later and ate its fucking lunch. I give The Changeling 1980 3.85 stars. This movie is so J-horror coded. Mysterious figures standing and watching, unsettled for some cosmic injustice, technology as spooky ethereal connection, an Akai no less, hidden wells with hidden secrets. I wish it did a bit more. Just another beat on the music and sound, just kind of drops it to get to the 2/3 mark, and the final shoe drop is a little anticlimactic. Because we already know everything, and there's no performance or statement or turn that doesn't really exceed the sum of its parts. Which, don't get me wrong, the journey's worth it.
The Changeling.
Even after all these years and all these rereadings and reclamations, never heard a peep about this one. Really, the reason I even picked it up is that Gala Avery wondered if Scott and Eastwood ever worked together, to which I remembered two Changelings existed. Hence, a double feature Changeling challenge. This is the most Ron Howard movie that Ron Howard did not direct after being attached to direct, then handed off to another director to direct movie. I think. I don't really track him, yet I think I'm somehow nearly a completist. Hard to tell with how low-key his post-Ransom work has been.
My name is Christine Collins. On March 10th, my 9-year-old son Walter Collins disappeared.
Clint Eastwood's anonymity aside, I made the mistake of reading some trivia that this was first developed by a TV network writer for TV, and boy does it feel like it. No shots fired. There are just certain muscles that apparatus trains, and as a result, a chilling true story of kid swapping, corruption, abuse of power, and heroic reversals of fortune is episodically commercial, act disjointed, and tame. Blame Marshall McLuhan. I don't make the rules. Beyond that, I just felt pushed away by... I don't buy the casual, rampant male chauvinism. I believe it existed. I believe it exists on a structural level, but I feel like it's the least compelling linchpin of the film. Yet, as they say, it insisted upon itself. When there's a much more juicy story right under the surface that I think a lot of us know could get to new levels of lowness of how rotten LAPD, City Hall, and powerful community leaders can and definitely were. The bunch is spoiled, bro. I give The Changeling 2008 2.95 stars. I might be being generous. There's some interesting gold flecks in the sand, the kid accomplice, a killer's mindfuckery. I think from a director point of view, Eastwood is doing yeoman's work on a largely banal script. It would be interesting to see the version that actually came from his camp. Old Los Angeles looks pretty good, did the DiCaprio point more than a few times, but there was just nothing that could make me care about Jolie's monotonous. She felt left out in a way that didn't really plus the picture. For writers, I think the lesson should be going back to primary documents does not a compelling story make. You have to learn deeper psychological logic of characters, or get some dynamite actors who could breathe and leer subtext. I think if anything, the real lesson is this Changeling Double Trouble showdown showed the power of fiction and horror to reveal more truth than just the facts, ma'am. If one does not like this, I don't know that one likes cinema, capital or lowercase c. It's funny, to me at least, I came to Anno really through his live-action work first. I think it was Shin Godzilla, Shin Ultraman, then Evangelion. I knew it existed. Shin Kamen, Love and Pop, now this. He's becoming one of my favorite filmmakers, living for sure, eking into without qualification. His characters, camera work, editing, writing, tone, design, fashion, music, it's nearly impossible to pick one facet to highlight, but to me, it's his camera. The composition, fluidity, crashing, stillness, compressed, expanded, speaks, is fully animated by the history of cinematic language and the fundamental verbiage and consciousness of art itself. It's an any means necessary filmmaking. It's immediate and exploratory through the tech he uses to push the aesthetics, push the visual effects, costume, a character. It's homage to all the giants he's conversing with and pushing himself and the media. I give Cutie Honey 2004 4 stars. I love how earnestly goofy this cursed superhero movie of positivity and existential stakes is. Not 1 milliliter of glib irony. If you embrace the youthful exuberance, you shall be rewarded. I think it understood the assignment. I'm not familiar with Go Nagai. I don't know if I've read a complete work, but this feels right. Even if it is wrong. Eriko Sato. It's really hard to switch from English to Japanese. Eriko Sato is so right as the Honeys. Mikako Ichikawa got me feeling some certain way. Anno and women. Interesting.
One man. 3 women. 1 night. The night of the Iguana. Since man has known woman, there has never been such a night.
I'm beginning to deepen my feeling that plays, adaptation of plays, are inherently anti-cinematic, Shakespeare to Kurosawa pipeline aside. There's just so much talky, standy, remember winning, just doesn't jive with the cinematic apparatus of voyeurism seeking the hidden internal life that drives action.
I'll rule your spirit. I'll hold you.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Yes.
No.
Open the door.
That being said, Huston reeling Tennessee Williams from stage to screen is noble, mostly successful effort, if you're arbitrarily judging the way I am. It is oh so arbitrary.
You know what you're sore about, what you're really sore about? That little quail of yours has a natural preference for men.
For me, the strokes of Huston's genius come in the casting and experience mileage and willingness to act as proxy peeper in ways the theater cannot and strives not to pursue for us, dear viewers. What I'm saying is this man knows how to shoot a pair of hips and the private revelation of widening eyes. Burton, I don't know who else this works with. Burton, I wish he were a little less rushed, but I guess one can hardly idle with Williams. Uncouth. But I think it could work more if it stretched beyond what seems to be the text. I haven't read this, haven't seen this. I'm a cinematic supremacist and have hardly allotted myself much of a budget for the old arts. Plus, I'm illiterate.
Will Mr. Shannon be all right, do you think?
All right? Honey, I don't know.
I give The Night of the Iguana, 1964, 3.75 stars.
All women, whether they want to face it or not, want to see a man in a tied-up situation.
Ava Gardner obviously had fun. Interesting mental image of her and the Beach Boys.
Shannon will emerge triumphant.
Sue Lyon is great as a half more grown Lolita, but for me, it's Grayson Hall. I wanted more of her.
You were building your nest, and you didn't even know it.
Fantastic.
Gabriel Figueroa Mateos. I guess I've seen a couple of the films he's shot now. Some of the best deep focus stacking I've seen. Just perfectly magical enough.
Since man has known woman, there has never been such a night. The night of the Iguana.
This week, my weekly pick of the week is, if you've watched this far, there's no way you don't know it's Cutie Honey. I'm getting sad. There's not much more Anno for me to track down. At least not feature length. And I don't know how much is physical stateside. Thinking. This week's bonus feature is no switcheroo here. The Changeling. It won't change your life unless maybe you've missed every horror film since 1977 or somehow missed The Shining. I bet Stephen King prefers this. But he probably forgot it exists because, you know. Quick announcement, next week's episode will be delayed 1 week because I will be shooting the pilot episode of my podcast that's not really a podcast, but a video program show about movies. Movies, selections from the Rental Report Review, this very show. It's called Rewind, where I sit down with a guest who picks one of the picks of the week, or a bonus feature, previously seen or not. We'll talk about the film, our experiences with the film, cultural, business context, do some analysis, and each of us will pick our favorite scene and break it down live for us, not for you. I'll be editing it. At least that's the plan. And the tale for another time. Until then, see you in 2 weeks. Thank you so much for watching. You can follow me on Instagram and X to see what movies I'm renting next, and pretty much everything is on my letterbox. I am going to go watch some more movies. I hope you do too. Pretty well.